What can your children do for me? How are your children going to be an asset for me? Because if you are pursuing me and then you turn around and ask me what the kind of asset my children can be for you, I just might slap the shit out of you.
All right, so this woman wants Shannon Sharp nailed to the wall. And many chicks like her who happen to be single moms are disgusted about why he would go after a younger woman. And if you've seen this video before, and I'm not talking about this one, right? I'm talking about this video where she talks about Shannon Sharp being 56 and dating a young lady who's 19, and she says he deserves everything he gets. Now, let's not mistake the conversation that's been had here. We all would agree as men. The last top comment was like, hey, he's too old for this. He needs to really, really chill out, especially messing with the OnlyFans models. It's not a good look. But to try and label him a predator for doing something that we know you women today, modern women, do. There's so many videos I see of older women talking about how they're dating YNs because the YNs know how to treat an older woman. You had Tracy Ellis Ross. She keeps coming up. I know. But she decided to date younger men. There's plenty of women out here who do the exact same thing. However, if you're wondering, like many people, why are these women so angry about the age thing? Well, this video makes a lot of sense because here she is talking about what appears like the struggles of dating as a single mom. Check it out.
That is an internal question that you need to be asking yourself. I like this lady. She has kids. Am I ready to step into that role? Is a relationship with this woman worth me taking on the responsibilities of maybe an additional parent? What will those responsibilities look like for me as a step parent? And is that something that I want to do? Not asking that woman, how can her children benefit you? That's weird. And the fact that y'all don't understand how that is a weird question, because children do not benefit any adult in any capacity. Yes, do children provide, love, but they cannot support you emotionally. And anybody that says that their children is some kind of emotional crutch for them, you're wrong and you're doing it wrong and you need help. Go see a therapist about that. Go talk to that lady, not your kids. Kids cannot support you emotionally. Kids cannot support you financially. They just there to eat all your food and shit up. So if you, as a single person with no children, thinks that that is too much for you to take on, despite how much you like this person, then you need to walk away. Do not ask that mother what her kids can do for you.
All right. So I'm going to be honest with you. Yes, I agree with that. That's not a question you go around at. You don't go on first dates. And the people who think that that's actually like a type of question you ask somebody and be like, so how are your children going to benefit me? I don't think people who are socially aware struggle with this. I think it's the people who don't understand that, like, hey, there's certain conversations you can have in the comment sections you can't have in real life, so on and so forth. But I do disagree with what she said there about children not being able to benefit you within a relationship. Very easily, I can think of many ways that I was a benefit to my parents. Eventually, when children respect you as a father, which is difficult to do as a stepfather in many cases, which is why a lot of men think it's a thankless job, but they can help out around the house. I can think of many cases. They can help out with chores. They can help out with babysitting. They can help out with other responsibilities outside of the home. Maybe I was one of the few that was given those type of responsibilities, but I was able to handle it. But that's not the point I'm trying to make here. I was curious, why is this chick right here so angry? Why is she calling for Shannon Sharp to be nailed to the wall? Well, it's because she is the type of modern woman who goes on dates and wants a man like Shannon Sharp. And I'm not talking about him necessarily as an exact man, his net worth, his success. Maybe, they're delusional out here. Maybe they all want millionaires. In fact, we know some of them do. But many of them are upset that the older men don't necessarily find them attractive. And me listening to this, me just sensing the energy here, I can understand why this woman is struggling to date as a single mother. And hear me, single mothers get married, they get into relationships. I'm not a channel that sits here and denies that because I see it. I see it, it happens. But that man has to find value in you. The problem is that majority of you come with this energy and they don't want to deal with that. Put that coffee down. Anyways, so that's that. It probably makes this video right here makes a whole lot of more sense. Let's check it out.
I do not feel bad for Shannon Sharp. Actually, nail him to the wall. Men like Shannon Sharp go after women whose frontal lobe have yet to develop, and then when they prove to you that they are still children, it's how dare she try to manipulate me? How dare she try to get money from me? Why do you think she was with your old ass? No, really. Why would a 19-year-old go after a man in his 50s who she also knows is only here for a good time? Y'all keep doing this. Y'all keep doing it. It keeps happening because y'all have spent y'all years mistreating women. And then because women have dealt with shit their entire life, you're like, that's baggage. No, that's called common sense. Because a woman will no longer allow you to play with her once a woman gets to the point where she's like, wait a minute. That's when y'all want to be like, oh, she got baggage, she got baggage, she got boundaries.
Nah.
And y'all don't want women with boundaries, with self-respect. Y'all want little girls who is going to do whatever y'all want her to do for a little bit of change. You on that phone telling that girl that you're going to choke the shit out of her and that she going to like it. And now she trying to get over on you and you mad. She's in it for money. She's in it for the money. Where y'all problem is, y'all think y'all are bigger than the program. Y'all get so full of yourself that you genuinely think this child wants you for real. Men like that scare me because
I don't think Shannon thinks that she wants him for real. I don't think he ever thought that. I don't think anybody else thought that he thought that either. Am I wrong? Do you guys think that Shannon Sharp really thought that she was actually in love, like actually in love with him? No. I've seen multiple takes of Shannon Sharp assessing modern women correctly, right, without the rose-colored lenses. So I don't agree with that.
Because what does a 56-year-old and a 19-year-old have in common? Actually, she's 20 now and he's 56 now. So a 55-year-old and a 19-year-old have in common what?
An agreed upon exchange. You see, guys, here's what's wild about this, and you've probably heard me say this before. If he was only sub to the OnlyFans and she was getting over on him that way, they would call that empowerment. She's using her body to benefit. But as soon as he gets the cheeks, now it's an issue. Do not confuse this with paying for OnlyFans subscriptions is something that more men should do. That is something men should stop. Men need to exercise more sexual discipline. But that's not the conversation she's trying to have here. She's trying to paint him as a predator. The question is, who do you guys think is subscribed to all these OnlyFans accounts? If you're going to allow her to create an OnlyFans, are you going to monitor who's subscribed to them? You know, with female empowerment comes the ability to choose the man who you allow to pay to see your cheeks and also the man that you allow to entertain. If she's old enough to create an OnlyFans, then shouldn't she be old enough to decide who she's going to smash? She can't all of a sudden turn into an innocent victim once it doesn't go her way.
What do you have to talk about? What life experiences do y'all have to discuss?
Not 2 children, not 3 children, or how many she has.
None. And anytime, and I know men are gonna find their way in their comments like, it's legal. If you have to say it's legal as a way to defend your dating preferences, you're a predator. You're a predator. That's like us saying slavery was bad.
What?
And y'all be like, well, it was legal. That doesn't make it okay. It used to be legal to beat your wife. It used to be legal to rape your wife. Does that make it okay? I mean, it's legal.
So let me get this straight. You're comparing slavery to OnlyFans. Oh my goodness. And this is the same chick who's wondering why she can't find her man to have her and her children. Right? Right here. Right here. That we just saw in the recent video.
Cause y'all love to be, she legal, she legal, she legal, she legal. And then you know what I always find so funny? When men get to, when people ask them like, well, would, if you had a 19-year-old daughter and a man in his 50s wanted to date her, would you be okay with that? Well, I mean, if he was gonna take care of her, and if he was gonna, no, you would not. You would not be okay with that. You would think, man, he is dirty. But for somehow y'all can reason with yourselves and think that that's okay. And don't come in the comments talk about Drea, because I think that's dirty too. I think age gap relationships, any way you shift them, is disgusting. I think in any relationship where there is a significant difference, whether it be finances or age, there is going to be a level of manipulation.
Oh, geez.
If someone has $0 and someone has millions of dollars, power difference.
These are the okay. So I want you guys to think about this, right? You see this woman, you're thinking to yourself, okay, you go on a date with her. Seems like she might be in her right mind. We'll see. And then she starts talking about this shit. That you're predatorial if your discrepancies when it comes to finances are too drastic. When we know that there are women out here who don't want to work. They don't want to work. You can't force them to work. They want to be stay-at-home moms. They don't. Now, I wouldn't encourage that type of dynamic within a relationship, but I know that I can't tell people how to live their lives once they're grown adults. She asked, well, would you want your daughter to date a 56-year-old man or 55-year-old man at 19? I wouldn't want her to do OnlyFans. But if she's going to do OnlyFans, she's going to do OnlyFans. Would I look at that man as a predator? Not necessarily, because there are other relationships that have large age gaps that are not predatorial. Now, the context matters. If she tells me she's getting into adult content, then you're probably going to run into more men that would take advantage of you due to the circumstance and situation. That's different from like a man who's actually seeking marriage from you long term. I don't think every situation, though, where a man isn't marrying a woman is predatorial. That's just ridiculous to say. Because we know these modern women, though they're single, someone out here has access to their body in a lot of cases. Someone has access. And best believe they're not asking that man and saying, well, let's make sure our financial discrepancies aren't too drastic. They're not. Right? If it's a fling, it's a fling. If they've agreed, they've agreed. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm letting you know they are talking out of both sides of their mouth here.
If someone has decades of life experience and someone barely has any, their frontal lobe, their critical thinking skills have yet to fully develop, there is going to be manipulation involved.
Okay, so on your next video, make a video that says Tracy Ellis Ross is a predator. I'm according to what she's saying, right? What else? Who did she say there? Drea, you know, make a whole lot of lists because I'm sure there are plenty of other women out here. I don't believe that. I don't think that Tracy Ellis Ross is being predatory. I don't think so. I don't personally think so. Now, I do think that she's not in a unique situation, which is what my argument was, and that she can't lock down her husband more due to her mentality of being strong, independent, and not willing to settle with a man who probably wants her to play a more traditional role as a wife, which she would call toxic masculinity. Do I think that she's a predator? No. That's ridiculous. Go change the laws. I mean, I don't know what you want people to do, but we all know what this is, guys. This has to do with her situation, and it's hard out here. It's hard. I get it. I get it. You can't find anybody to step in for that fatherly role who you want, right? And so spewing out anger and want him nailed to the wall. That's crazy. It's crazy. But I'm the bad guy. When have I ever called for this is crazy. Insane. Comment down below. Appreciate you guys. See you next time.